Hello, I'm Victoria Weather Meteorologist Ryan Henning with the first ever video forecast. Apologies for the weird aspect we got going on here. I tried recording with a different format, but apparently this is the only way that's going to work for me. But this is going to be our first ever video forecast, so hopefully you understand the issues that I'm having. It's just me right now. But we're going to be looking at Youngstown, Ohio. Got the DeYoung weather animator up, and one of the issues with this format is I can't even get to the screen. We've got both the NAM and the GFS loaded up here. Both models are fairly similar today. It's not really an indication of preference on today's forecast for model choice. It's just that the NAM loaded on top, and I'll just keep riding with that for consistency's sake more than anything. It's not really a particular deference for either model today. Let's first take a look at what the current picture is. We can see down in the southeast there's a vast area of low pressure that's not going to directly impact Youngstown, but it is something that we need to keep an eye on because it is going to be telling about what the weather's going to do tonight. And then more directly impactful is this weak clipper that's moving through Western Ontario into the Great Lakes. Tonight, as it moves southeast, it will be bringing some light snow to northeastern Ohio. There's a little bit more significant snow going on right now in southwest Michigan, but that's just because Lake Michigan isn't entirely frozen over yet, whereas Lake Erie is. So there's not going to be a lake effect impact for the Youngstown area. It's all just going to be synoptically driven. That is to say, just the force of our area low pressure. And then that's where this guy comes in. Because typically in northern Ohio, you get most of your moisture from the Great Lakes. But just like the Midwest now, with the lakes frozen over, all of the moisture that's going to be available for any snow in the area is going to be coming from the Gulf and the Gulf Stream. And just the orientation of this system means that it's going to be trying to draw moisture from the Gulf Stream off the East Coast. And with this guy here, it's really just going to absorb most of that moisture. It's going to start to move towards this system and get wrapped up in our area low pressure along the East Coast. So that's going to keep snow totals down. It's only going to be about a half inch tonight in Youngstown, and it's going to mostly fall overnight, maybe through about 2 or 3 in the morning. So that system's going to move out through the morning tomorrow. You can see there, it's going to clear out a little bit. And then by tomorrow in the mid-afternoon, we're going to have a very similar pattern setting up, where we've got another vast system in the southern United States. This is about the position where our departing system was yesterday. So we've got a system developing here, and then we've got another wave moving through the Midwest, riding on the back of a fairly strong trough. The difference between these two systems is that this system is, our northern system is setting up a little bit further to the south. It's going to dig further south, and it's setting up further to the west. Whereas this system is going to be moving a little bit more swiftly to the northeast. And what that's going to do as time goes on is it's going to allow our Midwestern trough to tap into the Gulf of Mexico rather than the Gulf Stream. So there's going to be a little bit more moisture. You can see the models are indicating a little bit heavier precip for the Illinois and Indiana area and I guess that's over Iowa right there, by tomorrow night. And it's going to be able to hold some of that moisture as it continues on to the east towards Ohio. And by Thursday night, they're going to be getting clipped by a little bit more impactful snow. And by impactful, I don't mean that they're going to get dumped on. It's just going to be like 1 to 2 inches. So over the course of the next 2.5 days, they could get 1.5 inches of snow. So it's not going to be a blizzard by any stretch of the imagination. One thing I do want to mention also is you can see the red and blue lines here. Those are thickness lines. They're not actually temperature lines. They're more a reflection of like I said, the thickness in the atmosphere. And colder air tends to lead to higher thicknesses, so you can interpolate temperatures both aloft and at the surface thanks to these thickness lines, even though it's not directly telling you that's what it is. So we can see the blue lines are digging south out of Canada, moving into Ohio. So that is a batch of cold air that's moving in. And what that's going to do is cause the snow in Ohio to be fairly dendritic. And what dendritic means is fluffy. So fluffier snow piles up faster. It doesn't take as much moisture to get more inches of snow. So it's going to be very fluffy inch to inch and a half snow for Youngstown through the night tonight and into tomorrow. Whereas along the East Coast, it's warmer, it's wetter. So they may also get an inch and a half in certain locations. But shoveling, it's going to be a totally different chore just because it's going to be so much heavier. So also with those temperatures, that kind of gives some insight into the highs and lows. It's going to be in the mid-teens tomorrow through much of the day. Overnight into Thursday morning, it's going to be a little bit colder, but the high should still be about the same. It's going to be about 15 degrees. But there are some sub-zero temperatures probably on the way within the next couple of days for Youngstown. So I hope you enjoyed our video forecast. I apologize again about the format and the look of the whole situation. Hopefully by the next time we do one of these videos, we'll have some things sorted out. But in the meantime, I appreciate you paying attention and listening to this forecast. And for Victoria Weather, I'm Ryan Henning.